All right, howdy and welcome everyone to Texas A&M's Virtual Campus Sustainability Month. Thanks for joining us today on this chilly Wednesday. Happy that you're here with us today. What we have today is we have Texas A&M University Dining. We have Marketing Director Stephanie Denson and the Sustainability and Marketing Intern Yadira Hernandez, and they're here to talk to us about fair trade. You might not know, but our campus is actually a fair trade university, and we're going to learn all about that. So it's really, really interesting what we've been able to accomplish. And Texas A&M University Dining, you might also know them as Chartwells. They've really been the driver behind our fair trade push. Really excited to hear from them. Before we get to that, we have a couple quick little housekeeping items. Just turn on side-by-side mode for your best viewing experience. You can also turn on your subtitles if you'd like. We ask that you mute your mics, and then if you do have questions, write those in the chat. We'll ask those in the Q&A at the end. During that time, if you don't want to write your question, you could unmute your mic, or you could turn on your video if you wanted to just have a conversation with us that way. Also in the office, we have Sustainability Champion Awards. We actually have a former Champion Award winner with us. Yadira Hernandez won the Student Award. Was that last year, I think, Yadira, you won that?
Yeah. Yes, it was just this past year, yes.
Yeah, you're just a past award winner. So that's really cool that she's here on the call. So students, faculty, and staff are all eligible to win a Champion Award. Those are open now. Also, if you'd like to be an intern in our office, we have those applications currently open on our webpage, where you can also find the Champion Award nominations on our webpage. It's also on our social media, and there should have been a campus-wide email that went out on Monday. So you can check that as well. And you also may want some prizes. So if you're here for the prizes, what you need to do is pay attention for a code word. At some point, it's going to either be written on a slide, spoken, it might be dropped in the chat. At some point in this presentation, you'll find out the code word. Just keep track of it, write it down. If you get 2, you get a water bottle, 3 gets you a t-shirt, 5 gets you a water bottle and a t-shirt. And what we want you to do once you have those code words is put them all in one email to sustainability@tamu.edu. You have until November 9th to get those in. And you don't have to watch live. You can watch the recording of this. And we do need you to pick up your prizes in person in College Station. We'll do a safe contact-free drop-off for you or pick up for you. We're not able to ship those, unfortunately. And then one last thing. Also, you are able to get points in Maroon Base. It's the student app. You actually can get monthly prizes. You can get points for attending our events. So I think you need to show your code words once you email them and figure out kind of what your steps are to do that. But maroonbase.tamu.edu will help get you started and figure out who to contact. So with that, I'm going to pass it over to Yadira. She's going to share her screen, and they're going to teach us all about fair trade. So whenever you're ready, Yadira and Stephanie, take it away.
Thank you so much, Ben. I'll go ahead and share screen.
While Yadira's sharing her screen, I'm just going to intro us real quick. So like Ben said, my name is Stephanie, and we have Yadira here. So we are both with the Fair Trade Committee for Texas A&M University. We are both housed in Texas A&M University Dining, which is run by the contractor Chartwells. But we work with students, faculty, and staff to keep our fair trade designation every single year as being a fair trade campus. But this presentation today is going to give you a little bit information about what fair trade is in the United States as well as around the world, and what it means that Texas A&M is a fair trade campus. So I'll hand it over to Yadira to get started.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Steph, for that wonderful intro. And yes, welcome all. Thank you for coming here in all of celebration of Campus Sustainability Month. And let's get started. So a few people may be asking, what is fair trade? If you've ever heard of it, you might have heard of what little parts of it of what it means, but in reality, there could be many definitions, honestly, but I try to grasp a statement that I could find online. And fair trade is essentially a global trading partnership designed to help producers in developing countries specifically to achieve sustainable and equitable trade relationships. And I did put a link here in how fair trade relates to sustainability, yet we can always share further for future viewing of this link. But essentially, this sustainability is what fair trade is essentially. It's about the economic, the social, and the product production of each fair trade item. It's to wanting to help each individual that is involved in fair trade production. They have a fair price, a fair treatment, and a fair living outcome for participating with fair trade.
One thing I'll mention before Yadira goes to the next slide is since we are presenting this on Zoom, we have a little technical difficulties with these YouTube links, but when Ben does post this on the Office of Sustainability's page, we're going to have links to all these videos. So if you want to click them and watch them either while pausing this video and keep watching, you can do that, or watch them after to get some more info.
Yep, exactly. So just as a brief history, a brief of how fair trade came about, it all started with a man called Rice Paul. In the late 1980s, he went to Nicaragua and he just went out and just wanted to help with farmers around there. And he found out that there were farmers previously called fair traders, and he wanted to learn more about them. And they were all seeking a way to have a better treatment through their work, better wages, better livelihoods for each worker. So he joined them, and in 1998, he began the first Nicaragua co-op to start the fair trade organization. And through time, it's actually grown, and there's a very remarkable link on YouTube that shares more about this. Unfortunately, we're not able to show this, but we'll share that further with you guys afterwards. And in 2019, he was awarded the Business Leader of the Year. So with fair trade, there comes with principles. So each product, to have that fair trade logo on each item, has to come about with the 10 principles of fair trade. And it is all under the umbrella of the Fair Trade Organized World Fair Trade Organization. And briefly, we'll go through all these 10 principles, what makes fair trade unique. So the first one is opportunities for disadvantaged producers. This is mainly to reduce poverty, to support majorly marginalized producers in developing countries that are small businesses or family-owned businesses around the world. And in terms of wanting to increase the income insecurity that is mostly very common in these regions. Second is the transparency and accountability. This is mostly very important in wanting to keep each employer and employee relationship much more transparent within the decision makings of each product production. Third is the fair trade practices. It goes along with the sustainability aspect of it all, the social, the economic, the environmental well-being of each small producers, wanting to put people over profit, is wanting to build relationships for long-term, to build respect, mutual trust, and wanting to recognize and protect each individual's cultural identities and traditions. Fourth is the fair payment. This is the most famous one, but obviously there's a lot more to fair trade, but wanting to give that fair price for each product and having that dialogue, that participation between worker and employer, and then wanting to keep that relationship strong by supporting them through the market. Number 5, no child labor, no forced labor. To adhere to the United Nations Commission of the Rights of the Child and abiding by the local law, there is no forced child labor. And this is very strict between how developing countries can have a lot more difficulty in trying to restrain these laws. Number 6, and we are almost there. Let's keep going. No discrimination between the hiring, the wages, the training, the promotion, any aspect of who participates in fair trade. There's clear policy and wanting to promote gender equality to ensure men and women to have access and resources to policy making. And number 7 is good working conditions. So this is one of one of the most important ones that makes fair trade different from most fast production, most economic driven forces is wanting to keep each employee safe during these environments of working, keeping their health first, keeping the safety first, and abiding by the local laws of each country. Number 8, work directly with small producers to help improve management skills, production capabilities, and access to markets. Have access to local, regional, and international levels is important with fair trade and wanting to help these developing countries of these local farmers to have that open window to the global market. Number 9 is aware awareness, what we are doing today. We are trying to bring up this awareness throughout all Texas A&M and then everywhere around just to help spread the word about fair trade and how we want to advertise it in an honest way and wanting to support the cause. And finally, and most importantly, it's all about the environment as well. Fair trade is always wanting to maximize the raw materials from sustainable managed sources by, say, buying from local or using as less pesticide as they can be. Promoting technological advances as well is one thing that's very important to continue striving to minimize the impact we have on the environment when it comes to agricultural production. All right, so you might be asking, how is A&M involved? Well, A&M partners with the Fair Trade campaigns, and this is an organization that recognizes towns, colleges, universities, schools all around the U.S. that embodies the fair trade practices and principles into policy, as well as social and intellectual foundations of their communities. And Steph, I'll bring it over to you to explain more about how A&M has responsibilities in being a fair trade campus.
All right, thanks, Yadira. Yes, so Texas A&M became a fair trade designated university in the fall of 2017. So we're in year 3 of our designation. It is something that every single year we have to keep up our designation. And what we have to do each year is to meet all 5 of these pieces that you see on the screen. So first, you have to meet these 5 pieces to become a fair trade university, and then you have a second piece actually where you have to keep it, which I'll go into that second. But first of all, we built a team. So we had to have a group called a Fair Trade Committee, which is at least 5 members each year. We try to have more than that. That's part of the awareness piece that we're doing today. It is composed of both students, faculty, and staff members. Team from Dining Services, which is Yadira and myself, people from the Office of Sustainability like Ben and other team members who have been on previously, who've been introed us at the beginning of this presentation. And then we have some faculty and staff members, and we're always looking to have more students as we go through this process. So, it does have to be a collaborative team. It is not just a student-run group. It is through different aspects of the campus. Second piece is reach out to campus outlets and make sure products are available across campus. So what this means is that we are required to have at least 2 fair trade products in all non-national branded dining locations across campus. So at Texas A&M, we have over 40 dining locations on campus. And so anything that is not a national brand like Chick-fil-A, Starbucks, Jason's Deli, things like that, we can't change their menu, but we have several locations that are what we call internal concepts, where we have more decisions on the menus, the offerings, things like that. This is our convenience stores, our dining halls, and several retail locations. So we have to have at least 2 fair trade items. An example of this is at all of our dining halls on campus, we specifically serve fair trade coffee and tea from a company called Farmers Brothers. And their fair trade coffee and tea is called Seeds. So that is an option at all of our dining halls on campus, including the athletic dining hall. So that's 4 actually. So the next piece is enroll office and catering, work with campus offices and catering across campus. Since university dining also is in charge of the catering department, we always have fair trade options available for coffees, teas, chocolates, anything with, sometimes maybe they want some ice cream, and you could get some fair trade ice cream that includes fair trade sugar in there. So we have those offerings available, and we also track if certain offices also purchase fair trade outside of catering for any of their meetings. And this is not just food. This also, we work with the campus bookstore to have items that are fair trade, just in t-shirts or any type of bags. There's also fair trade cotton and other materials that can be used to have items on campus. Commit is the 4th piece. Commit to a fair trade education and events, raise awareness for fair trade on campus. This is a big part of what the committee does, is to make sure that we are continually educating students and faculty and staff about what fair trade means, not only here on campus as well as around the world. And the goal is to have at least 2 events per semester. This is one right now that we're using as an educational piece, and then usually in a typical year outside of 2020, we have lots of tabling, tastings of fair trade coffees and teas or chocolates. And we like to just get out there and talk with the community and explain, answer questions about what fair trade is, because it's not something that is, not all people are aware of it. So we like to answer questions, provide clarity, and explain how people can make a difference here on campus. And the last piece that we got to become an official Texas A&M, official fair trade designated university, was to have a fair trade resolution signed by the president. So that was done in 2017. And when we continue to keep our designation every single year, we work with a group that Yadira mentioned called Fair Trade Campaigns, who monitors all colleges and universities who have this designation to ensure that we are holding up our designation and making sure that we're continually educating, continually having products available as we move forward in this process. But we're always looking for new committee members, and I know Yadira will go through that moving forward, but our goal for this committee is to always educate people, and if people are passionate about this and want to be involved, we want to get you involved as well with us. So I'll hand it back to you, Yadira.
All right, thank you so much, Steph. I really love that one. All right, and let me go. All right, so this is kind of a summary of what Steph already said. In 2017, we became the fair trade designated, and one of the largest at the time in the nation, and only second in Texas. Chartwells became the first ever contract food service provider to establish Texas A&M's designation. And like Stephanie said, yes, because of this, we have at least 2 fair trade certified products at every dining retail location. So how can you get involved? Well, that's how we've been saying throughout the whole presentation. Purchase fair trade products on campus or wherever fair trade items are being sold. There can be many, as Steph has said, coffees, teas, ice cream. It's quite endless, actually. And one thing I really wanted to really highlight is the logos that fair trade has. So the 2 major ones I really want to highlight are these 2, the USA and the international logos. Those are the main ones you will see here at the US, but there are times where the lower logos are being shown. Just make sure that it has fair trade on the logo, and you can find it. Most of the times it's obvious on a package. You can see the examples on the sides. There's the Ben & Jerry's, it's like right there. Sometimes they're behind the wrapper. You gotta just find it, or you can do your research on what brands there are that are fair trade. And a few brands that I would like to highlight is the ones that mainly are famous for, Ben & Jerry's, Hershey's Bark Thins, Lanta Bar, or Alter Ego chocolates. And as Steph has already said, yes, every campus dining halls has fair trade tea and coffee. So if you've ever had a cup of tea or coffee on campus Sabisa, Commons, or Duckins, you've been supporting fair trade. And real quick, just as a sum up all of fair trade. So how is fair trade today, right? So with COVID, of course, fair trade was affected. But with fair trade's principles, farmers are actually managing through themselves with increased community funds that are part of the program. Actually, the first link of the presentation explains more about that. And yes, as of now, it's very critical to support fair trade products and small businesses now more than ever. They need our support, and whichever way we can help, like buying products from them, by giving us, like just giving the time to research about it as well, can really make a difference now more than ever. And addressing global injustice as well. Fair trade acknowledges how the globe has been shooken a little with the call out of more social justice, more equality, more non-discrimination. And that is what fair trade does with its farmers and workers, wanting to make each and every day count as to making that greater change. And there is a link as explaining more towards the climate crisis we are facing today. Fair trade is actually at the front lines of the climate crisis when it comes to developing countries facing the consequences of what probably more countries does more effect on the world than them. So please feel free to look at the link here. It's very informative. I highly encourage everyone on this chat to learn more about it. And yeah, let's stay connected. If you like to stay connected on any fair trade here on campus, me and Steph, we post many updates about events, about anything that's related to fair trade. Is following at Aggie Dining on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and at Tamu Dining on Snapchat. And these are the cited links, and we are open to any questions. Thank you so much for joining us today.
One thing I will add, that if anyone is interested, and I'll share this information when it's posted as a recording as well, but if anyone would like to join our committee, we're always looking for more students and faculty and staff members to join to help us spread awareness about fair trade on campus. We do have a Gmail account, fairtradetamu@gmail.com, that if you want to email that, we can get you set up when we have our next committee meetings and when we have our planning of what our educational events will be. So we always want to expand too, because since the Fair Trade Committee is housed and chaired within dining, we do a lot of education within food products that are fair trade. But as Yadira mentioned earlier, there's much more to fair trade than just the fair trade items that are sold on campus, and not just sold on campus, but just fair trade food items. So we want to talk about the social aspect as well, or any other industries out there that offer fair trade too. So we encourage you to please reach out to us so that we can help share the fair trade message on campus.
All right, great. Thank you so much for that really informative talk. So you heard it here first. You see that if you want to get involved on campus, if you want to join the Fair Trade Committee, you have that opportunity. So definitely encourage you to take advantage of that. Now I just want to have a quick discussion here. And sorry, I was going to try to actually, Yadira, do you mind just you could stop sharing your screen if you don't mind? All right, perfect. All right, thank you. So yeah, I just wanted to have a quick conversation, just ask you a few questions. Definitely learned a lot about fair trade on campus, and I think something that's really interesting if you're interested in the world of sustainability, you think about the 3 pillars where you have the environmental, the economic, and the social. Fair trade hits all of those, and I really think it highlights an area that we don't always have, I guess, a great understanding about, which would be the economic branch of sustainability. Because what it's really looking at is how do you pay people a fair wage, for the work that they're doing, And you can, and you really wrap that up with social justice, obviously, and even the environment, the farming practices. So fair trade really is a way to really get involved and understand sustainability, and you have the opportunity to get involved right on our campus. So definitely encourage you to take advantage of that if you are interested in the world of sustainability. And well, I think that was that fairtrade.@tamu. What was the email address again?
It's a Gmail account, so it's fairtrade@gmail.com.
Okay, fairtradetamu@gmail.com.
I put the link on the chat.
In the chat, okay, perfect. All right, so now I just have like some questions I wanted to ask you. So the first one was, how do students get involved with committee? You've already answered that question. Like what are some of the more popular fair trade products on campus? Like, do you have that information? Like, is there a bestseller or, handful of products that students really gravitate towards?
I'll answer, and then I'll let Yadira take over from what she knows. Of course, Ben & Jerry's is just popular because the brand, people know Ben & Jerry's, but I think it's really great that a brand that uses fair trade ingredients in several of their ice creams. It's not every single ice cream, so that's why we do want you to encourage to look for the logos that Yadira mentioned, but several of them use either fair trade chocolates or fair trade sugars or things like that. So that is a popular one on campus. I know we are in Texas, and there are a few other popular ice cream brands, but Ben & Jerry's is still popular in this area. We have them in several of our convenience stores on campus. We call them our Aggie Expresses. So if you live on campus, you're going to have an Aggie Express within walking distance of wherever your dorm is. So that is an option. I highly recommend the bark thins is another option that people like that includes fair trade chocolate. A really good snack if you like kind of a pretzel. It's a salty sweet type thing that you can try out. That I encourage those. But those are my two of the most popular options from our perspective in dining services that we've heard about. Anything you want to add, Yadira?
Oh, Ben & Jerry's hands down.
Mm-hmm.
That's my go-to right there.
And we do work. Pepsi is the university's contracted beverage vendor on campus, and we do work with them to learn about different beverages that they have that can include fair trade sugars. So that's kind of evolving with them. They've had certain colas in the past, but they have different juices, and we're always looking with them, and they're expanding their options to make sure that we have those fair trade options available, not only in the convenience stores, but in our bottled retail options as well that can be recycled.
Have y'all tried the vegan Ben & Jerry's ice cream? Do you know if that's fair trade or not?
I don't know. That's a good question. Yadira, do you know?
I've heard of it. Yes. I gotta get back to you, Ben. That's a good one.
Yeah, I guess I should have looked. I tried it for the first time maybe Monday night, and it's surprisingly, it's really delicious. So definitely recommend that if you want to check it out. I wasn't able to, I forgot to look if it was fair trade though, so I can't answer that question, unfortunately. So it sounds like bark thins and Ben & Jerry's are the most popular products on campus, at least from your perspective. Do y'all have a favorite fair trade product yourself personally, or did you already cover that with Ben & Jerry's and the bark?
I'll be honest, I'm a coffee drinker, so I do love the coffees in our dining halls. I think, and we don't just have, we have if you're a classic coffee drinker, you just want your regular medium roast, we have that, but we normally have a second option that's a flavored that you can try. Sometimes obviously we're in fall, so there's a pumpkin spice. Sometimes there's a dark roast. They have lots of different options there. So I do like those. And then normally in the school year, we do tastings for students, and we've done the tasting of the fair trade teas as well from Farmers Brothers, which I like just a classic Earl Grey tea. That is also another good, that's one of my favorites. Yadira, do you have anything you want to add?
Honestly, same as my Chunky Monkey, actually, from Ben & Jerry's. That's my go-to one right there. Actually, I'm actually looking through, and I believe the vegan Ben & Jerry's are fair trade.
Okay, well, great. Yeah, I figured if they're going to make it vegan, it makes sense that they make those ones fair trade as well from a marketing perspective.
Double the good, you know?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
double it.
Well, that's great.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
I'm looking at all the non-dairy ones right now. I'm not sure if it's just, but it looks like they have it's the international logo that you'll see on Ben & Jerry's. It's not
you'll see
that's
it.
going to be black and green and blue. So that's the fair trade logo that I believe are on all of theirs, but obviously they have lots of ice cream flavors. So I would encourage you to look at the label before you purchase. But it's great that a large national ice cream is a part of the fair trade organization.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Ben & Jerry's has also taken some pretty strong social justice stands as well. So I think just overall, they're a company that is very much oriented towards sustainability and having a sustainable future. So awesome that we're doing on some play here on the call. Let me see here. What have you like been able to gauge, like have the students reacted, to the fair trade products? Have they noticed that they're there? Have you gotten, positive reactions, or what have they generally kind of responses been?
Before or after?
When you started, I mean, yeah, I guess you could say before and after if you wanted to.
So I guess in the past 3 years, I do think as more people, the people who are interested in sustainability and have heard about fair trade, we have gotten some feedback either in person or on social media where someone says, oh, that's really cool that y'all have these products. But I think our biggest challenge is still educating our campus about what fair trade means. So that's a big part of the communication piece. And I'm the marketing director here, so that's a big part of communicating the why behind, not just showing, hey, we have these products, but explaining the why behind it. So we're continually working on that, but I do think I've been here on campus for 2 years now, and I do think it's growing, and I do think our partnership with the Office of Sustainability has been great to make sure that we're help amplify that message. But the people who who do understand it, who they learn what we're doing, that it's not just we're selecting another item off of the order list, that there's a purpose behind it. I think that they like they think that it's great that our university is committed to doing that, not only here on campus but worldwide.
Great. And do you know if you have any plans to increase the offerings? I know right now there's at least 2 products in every location. Do you have plans to offer more in the future?
Yeah, I think so. We're definitely working on that. Since we're in sustainability month in October, it has been on the plan is getting in near the end of the semester. We're going to review with our managers and our operators who order products for the locations that have this, and just continue reviewing what's available for what we're able to purchase, and go from there. We're never going to say, oh, we only have to have 2, and that we're not going to increase that. That'll never be the scenario. We want to offer products, and especially what we would like to do more of when we can is do more sampling with students and the faculty and staff to get an idea of what people want. But we're open to if someone has, hey, I really like getting this fair trade product that's sold in HEB, like reach out to us and we will see if we can look into that. We're open. We would love feedback on what you're interested in. And a whole part of this committee too is we are encouraging people to purchase fair trade items on our campus, but it's even more, it's a communication of explaining where you can purchase things out in every day, where if you go to the grocery store or shop online, like just explaining that how you can do that other places too is a big part of what this committee is.
And I love that idea too, Stephanie, because it's like, the things that you learn on campus, the whole idea is to take that out, apply it in your real life, and, bring that into the world when you leave campus, so I love that sentiment. Learn about fair trade on campus and apply it to your life, even if you're no longer, on campus anymore, and now you're a former student. So I think that's great advice. So I think that concludes all of my questions. Do either of you have any concluding thoughts before I just give a little preview for our next talk?
I think that's it. I just thank you for watching. Please reach out to us if you would like to learn more about the Fair Trade campaign. Just know that we're still very early in this. I mean, we've been doing this for 3 years, and this is going to continue and evolve. And so this is something that's not going to stop anytime soon. So we're excited. So if you're passionate about this, please reach out, and we'll welcome you, and we'll just keep going, moving forward.
All right, great. Thanks, Stephanie. Yadira, is there anything you wanted to conclude with?
Everything was Steph. Just support what everything she said. Please, we're always open, and we're just getting started. This is not set in stone. It can just go up from here. And yeah, looking forward to any help, any reach out to us, and then yeah, we are open.
Awesome. Yeah. So it sounds like they're open to feedback, open to help. You know, it's going to take all of us if we want to make our campus more sustainable. So definitely need more of us boots on the ground to get stuff done. Let's move on now. Just briefly share what we have coming up next for you guys. So this is actually coming up tomorrow. So we have Professor Gand. He's in the Department of Ecosystem Services and Management professor. And his talk is at 11, same time tomorrow. And he's going to be talking about global forest conservation. So it's definitely a topic we haven't had discussed much or talked about. So please check out that tomorrow. And if you have stayed all the way until the end, then you'll be rewarded with the code word. So the code word for today is rice paw. And if you watch the presentation, you'll know who he is and why he is so important to this talk that you just watched. So thank you all very much for spending your Wednesday afternoon with us. Hope you all have a great day. And, you know, if you're looking for some food, you know, you can check out Tamil University Dining, check out some fair trade products. You heard Ben & Jerry's, you heard Barkthins. They have a lot of other options as well. Even if you just want some coffee, check it out on campus and support the university as well. You know, continue to live sustainably and, you know, shop fair trade. It's a great way to do that. So thanks everyone for your time. And Stephanie and Yadira, thanks so much for this presentation. Everyone, please take care and stay safe. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.